broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes! It took till the season finale, but I finally got them to dance with me, people. We love it. Yes. Woo woo. Oh, don't lie. Yes, thank you all for joining us. This is the AFTERBUZZ TV Total Divas After Show. It was very, very sadly the season finale tonight, and we hate that, but we love Total Divas, and we want to break it all down with you. Thank you for joining us. My name is Christy Olson. You can all check in with me at Christy Reports, and also follow the entire AFTERBUZZ TV team at AFTERBUZZ TV. We really appreciate if you're watching us on YouTube. Give us that thumbs up, please. It is the season finale, time to celebrate. We are on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. We love a 5-star rating. Leave us your comments. Let us know what you've thought about this entire season of Total Divas. We've loved breaking it down with you. And I'm not alone because, as I like to say, that would not be any fun. George Hermoza and Daria Berenato, tell them where to keep up with you.
Well, tell them where to buy your t-shirts.
Yes, please do.
Well, I don't have a t-shirt to sell.
Where can we find you on social media?
On social media, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at ghermoza, GHERMOZA. If you're listening to us on iTunes or on YouTube, it should be like right around there for the Twitter handle.
Point it out.
Okay, you can find me at Tough Daria on all social media. And let me just say, I am so excited to be here for the finale. I've only been with you guys for like 4 episodes, and I'm gonna miss you.
Does that mean we can't hang out on Tuesdays anymore?
I know.
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do next Tuesday around this time?
We could still get together and watch television and drink wine.
Okay.
We'll just pick up a new show.
Okay.
I think the AfterBuzzers will be here.
Don't say WAGs. I'm not really a big fan of WAGs.
Goodness gracious. It won't be WAGs.
Okay.
Which has been picked up for a second season.
Oh, has
But
it?
let's roll into this was season 4, episode Unlucky 13.
Ooh.
Return of the X.
Continue with the movie theme, like Return of the Jedi or Return of the King.
You're so smart.
We had all of those.
Dude, not just a hat rack, my friend.
And this, finally, we get to see the storyline we have been waiting the entire season for.
All season.
We've been watching it in the trailer. You guys have been waiting for it. We've been talking about it for 13 episodes. Finally, we see that Dolph Ziggler still carries a flame for the Miss Nikki Bella, which is understandable, yes?
I think so too.
I think she's
I'm not gonna lie though,
charming girl.
when I saw those pictures together of the back in the day when they dated, and even now, I don't know. To me, they just look so much better. They look so much as a cuter couple than him and John Cena, or her and John Cena.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think they just look, you see a couple and you're like, oh my god, that's so. They just fit together.
They're so cute.
I look at Ziggler and Nikki like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you spend 5 years plus with somebody, you know there's history there. There's always going to be that kind of bond. You're getting shorter by the second.
I told me to.
He's sinking.
I'm getting notes. No, I feel shorter.
But no, you're always going to have that kind of, bond with them and the history's there. But as far as chemistry and relationship, I don't know. I think that Nikki's madly in love with John Cena. And hopefully the other way around.
We've talked about it before, though. I feel like she's very much so in love with the lifestyle more than maybe John Cena himself.
Really? What do you think, Christy?
She did make some comments recently about being how she wanted to be Mrs. John Cena and wear that ring, but I think that her intentions are pure.
Right.
And the one thing that we can't forget is that John Cena is like the biggest stand-up guy in the world.
Right.
I mean, granted more Make-A-Wishes, he has the image. Like, if you want to go for that guy, because you're that girl, which she is, that's John Cena. It's not Dolph Ziggler.
But if you have your pick between
agree.
the number 1 guy or the number 2 guy, you're probably going to want to pick the number 1 guy.
Right, and let's face it, Ziggler's like the number 5 guy.
Like I remember to completely go off topic. I was watching a stand-up special with Carlos Mencia like years ago, like a long time ago when he was actually funny, and he was asking the crowd like, would you hook up with the president? And then he's like, people are saying, yeah. I was like, oh, who wouldn't hook up with the president? Oh, you wouldn't? Oh, but you rather hook up with that goofy looking guy that's right next to you? Yeah. You know, think about, like, be like your, you know, how would you like to tell your kids? Be like your dad. The president's the most powerful person in the United States of America.
Right.
Like, that powerful is so much attractive. Not so much different than, you know, being the number one guy in that world of professional wrestling, which is obviously far and large John Cena.
Yeah, dude, John Cena is like the president of the WWE, right?
And outside of the WWE, he was just in like a mainstream movie with what's her name?
Amy
Amy
Schumer.
Yeah, and not even, he didn't have a cameo in Trainwreck. He had like a
part.
actual part.
Yeah.
And it's funny, even in the trailers, there was like an Amy Poehler and Tina Fey movie coming out, and he's in that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
He's great, and he's a good actor, really good actor.
He was actually really funny. I'll actually reference to something that he did in that movie later on in this after show.
Okay.
You'll see. Once you see where I'm getting at, you'll be like, oh my god, I totally get where you're coming from.
Well, and we know that what Nikki Bella wants is to be the female that and to do the movies and all that kind of stuff. So sticking with John Cena, I mean, Dolph Ziggler's doing some movies, but I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
But this episode actually begins with a continued storyline of Paige and Kevin and the fact that he's proposed and she said yes, but has no intention of getting married anytime soon.
This is like my worst fear. It's a disaster. It scares me. It worries me. She's my age, so I get it. Like, I don't want to get married right now. And if someone were to propose to me, I would be scared shitless. But that being said, I would say no. She said yes, but she's telling everybody else no, which when he sees this show back, I'm sure he's not going to be very happy. Like, how long did you know before telling me that you didn't want to be with me? Just tell me you don't want to be with me.
I don't plan on getting married anytime soon. I hope. But if I were to propose to somebody, it would absolutely break my heart to know that this girl told me yes, but she's telling all her friends no. You know, like, just imagine if you're in his shoes. Like, how heartbreaking would that be?
Yeah, I just think it's something that in a mature relationship, you know, you share that kind of stuff with your significant other before your friends. I think there's a certain point where, you know, you're young and you tell your girls things that you don't tell your boyfriend, but when he's your fiance and you've taken it to that level and then you're telling your friends your feelings before you're telling him how you feel, there's something wrong. You know, you need to be honest with him. And I think that Paige will probably see this and obviously realize everything that we're saying. But
I'm sure you're right.
Looking back at it, but at the moment, I guess it seemed like the right idea. You know, the beautiful black ring, and he's on one knee, and it all seems right.
It's like the fake tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
He wasn't on one knee. He was laying on a tattoo bed getting a fake. You're right. But yeah, I think she'll see it back and be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And Kevin wasn't the only one to get the engagement news last. Stay tuned for our news and gossip segment. But anyway, we also see Nikki Bella and Brie and Bryan. They all go out to dinner together. And lo and behold, who shows up but Mr. Dolph Ziggler. And he has some family members with him. This is where they really laid the groundwork. Now, we knew this was coming, but we didn't know that Nikki and Dolph were together for 5 years.
I didn't know they were together. I know they were together.
I did some research, and I thought that it was about 3 years max.
Wow.
Right? That's a long time.
I am kind of curious about the whole on and off thing. Like, what exactly constitutes in off or on, you know? Like, what's that gap?
I've been in relationships like that, and usually for me, you break up, and then you're kind of just single. You might hang out with other people, but you're not committed to another serious relationship. You're kind of going back and forth with that person, is what I would assume would be the general understanding.
I mean,
of that.
even though he's billed from Hollywood, Florida, he actually lives in Phoenix. So that kind of tie-in of obviously of the Bella or Brie at least living in Phoenix, and obviously Nikki, I'm sure, visiting a lot, especially with the mom living in Phoenix, Mama Bella. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that maybe they didn't cross paths earlier, since they both live in the same
Nikki
city.
and Dolph would have always been on the road together.
Yeah.
I mean, they took a little time out. The Bella twins did a few years ago, but other than that, they would have been there all the time. I mean, you talk about on and off, but when that person is there at your work and you're on the road and you don't know anyone else, I mean, maybe that's where on and off comes from. Is you keep going back to what you know.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I think that the circumstances in which they were in definitely led to that on and off relationship. Whereas normally he would go back to his job, you would go to yours, you'd move out of the apartment if you if you live together,
right,
and you'd go your separate ways.
Maybe never see him again.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you're in the WWE and you work together and you're traveling to Japan together and all these crazy places where, like you said, you know nobody else, you're gonna go have dinner with the guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's comfort.
Yeah. And she didn't make any allusions to this on the episode tonight, but I know that she has said before in an interview something about him maybe not necessarily being unfaithful, but being flirty or just being available to other women. That she's made some allusion in the past to that. It's the womanizing thing.
No.
Right?
I would never have guessed. I mean, he has that written all over him. And that's something that, you know, as a girl looking at it, you're like, okay, that's danger. It's, you know, it's trouble. You can
danger.
I'm kind of curious what Lana is thinking about all this. I mean, Dolph has kind of been going on for a little bit. So who knows how Lana fits in this whole situation?
Our fake storylines may be intertwined.
I'm just saying.
Total divas.
I'm just saying.
Are we breaking kayfabe?
And then enter Rusev. There's Summer Rae. I mean, there's this whole love hexagon. Not a triangle, but a hexagon.
Well, listen, I will be shocked if we don't see at least some semblance of that next season.
I think this definitely could have been a seed planted for possible storylines in the ring.
By the way, I want that trademark. A love hexagon. Not a love triangle, but a love 6 sides? 8 sides?
I think that's an actual word that someone probably has already staked claim to.
It's just 2 words put together, George.
Love hexagon.
So you want to copyright the phrase?
Okay.
All right, don't put it on a t-shirt,
a love
people.
octagon?
G-Herm's got it.
I love octagon.
Sexy. Well, speaking of, Daniel Bryan has a little problem with this love octagon because he
you like
thinks
that? Now you owe me money
I
you owe me money because I just copyrighted it on my phone right now.
That's right. All right, I'll give it to you after the show.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
But I was kind of thinking that he went a little far with this. He accused her of flirting, and even Brie, who usually takes Bryan's side in a Nikki thing.
Here's where
all she said was Bryan Danielson. although when you do first name, last name, somebody,
yeah, dude, that's wife speak for.
When you
stop saying whatever you're saying,
you cut it out.
But when you middle name someone, then it's on. When you middle name out there,
this is how I feel
middle
about
name
this.
my Chihuahua all the time when he's being naughty.
Really?
What's
your Chihuahua's name?
He knows. Barnabas Rockstro Wurzburger.
Oh,
Barney knows when he hears that he's in trouble.
Lanta.
I know.
What was that?
I know.
We'll get back to that, Christy.
He's a fancy boy.
Here's my thing with the Daniel Bryan thing. I see where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with him, but when cameras are on, that's your family right there. If he said that, I would grab his little ear, and when the camera shut off, I'd be like, "What the hell did you say that on camera?" Because it looks so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's why I would suck at reality TV. Probably, you're supposed to.
Yeah, Daria, you could never survive on a reality TV show. Don't even try. Don't sign up for one. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I've never done it. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so like, I mean, I guess you gotta have that level of comfort where you gotta put all your cards out on the table and let them be shown, whether it's a good or a bad one. So I get what he was doing there, but ooh, those cut deep, and it was like. The entire world, Nikki Bella is a flirt. Mm-hmm. And hi, John Cena, are you watching? Like, it was like a red flag. And I was like, oh, this makes me uncomfortable. But maybe she shouldn't have been flirting that much.
Well, I never really realized how kind of conservative Daniel Bryan is. Or I don't know if that's even the right word, but like, I don't know if I want to call him a prude a little bit. But I respect it, that's right. Okay. But, I mean, it's a little much.
He, the last time we saw him say something was about Brie's outfits.
Exactly.
Yeah, he had mentioned that, and I mean, I guess he could be considered a conservative in some ways.
He's got too much time on his hands.
You're a man. Let's ask the man in the room. What do you think about this?
He loves himself a conservative woman, this guy.
I do. I was mentioning
Brie looks hot in her button-up long
I mentioned it in that one specific episode. I thought Brie looked a lot sexier with that whole button-up thing.
You did mention that.
Yeah.
So where do you stand in this situation? If you were sitting there watching
I think it just would have been uncomfortable for him. I probably wouldn't have said anything. But, I mean, good for him for speaking up,
Okay.
All right.
He is friends with John. I know he's really good friends with Dolph Ziggler as well, which, by the way, apparently also goes by the name of Nick Nemeth, apparently, which is weird because it should have been the other way around.
Guys,
Nick Nemeth should also go by the name of Dolph Ziggler.
Did anybody catch this? When Nikki Bella was like, his name is Dolph Ziggler, but in the WWE he also goes by the name Nick Nemeth.
No, Nick. no, Nikki, that's just his name. That's not what he goes by. That's his God given by his mama name.
Which is funny. It's funny because like the first thing I thought about this, and I never caught this before, and obviously a few, what was it, like a month or two ago? When did Tough Enough end? Whenever they interviewed Georgia, and my whole theory behind it is, my name is George, her name's Georgia. That's a perfect match. Nikki.
So you're saying Nick and Nikki.
Nick and Nikki.
Okay.
I don't know. I never even thought about that till now. Nick and Nikki.
All right.
And Georgia, he hasn't forgotten about that.
I haven't forgotten. I'm still saving up pennies to fly to Australia.
I just talked to her the other day.
And what did you say
Where
about
we
me?
at?
I put good words in for
Okay.
you. I told her if she ever comes over here to, we'd have dinner and I'd bring you along.
Did you really?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. But I
Just want to
can.
scare the
Okay,
girl.
yeah, you will now.
I know, but I'll just do that. I'll just bring you along,
Okay.
and then we'll set it up. Yeah, you just turn your swagger on.
Yes. Oh.
He can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, from maybe a future WWE couple to an actual current WWE couple, Natty and TJ are dealing with some things as well. This is where we another storyline we've been waiting for because we know that TJ's been out for a long time, and this is one of those real stuff things.
Yeah.
This isn't made up. This is not a storyline. TJ is legit hurt, has been out for a long time, and it put both his and her careers kind of off track because she was valeting for him at the time when he got injured. So we finally kind of see this all start to go down, and this is one of those moments where I say, real wrestling fans who knock Total Divas, do you really want to know what's going on with TJ? Then you should probably watch Total Divas.
No, it's true. It's true. The best way to get inside the wrestling world right now into the WWE is Total Divas. Yeah. We really get to see all the backstage good stuff. So the whole TJ situation, first of all, can we talk about Natty's injury and tie that in?
Yes.
Natty
her injury.
Yeah, go ahead.
Her eye injury.
Her
that
detached
Summer
retina
caused several years ago.
Well,
I guess
Because
vision is pretty serious.
I know that the nose thing was thing because I don't remember she had like a thing with her sinuses. She's like,
I remember the nose,
and even like a little tiny comment that she made that was like, oh, okay, like maybe it really did. Maybe there really was conflict and friction between Summer and Natty, where it's at the point where now it's like, oh, even if it was scripted, well, this real scripted slap caused permanent damage for Natty. So maybe I don't know, maybe the eye as well. I mean, that was a vicious slap. I don't want to get slapped by Summer if that's the case.
That's true.
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I mean, the injury obviously seems serious. Natty went to the doctor during this episode. He said that whatever it was, missing a piece or whatever. I don't know how they said it.
Thin or it was red. I don't know. Her mom had a different take on it than her mommy.
Her mommy. I love this girl. Her mom.
Natty has been known to be a little too over dramatic at times too.
True that.
So I mean, even when she was like, "Oh, Foxy, all I can see is your black hair," like really, that's all you can see.
And when has Fox's hair ever been just black?
Yeah,
it's black and red, it's black and purple right now.
See the other colors,
girl. If you can't see that, you are in trouble.
Then you are in trouble. Yeah, but the doctor said that she would need surgery, or else her retina was going to detach, and that if she got the retina surgery, she would never be able to wrestle again. I mean, those are big words.
I mean, doctors always say that too.
Yeah, you
especially
think so?
if you're gonna if you have a very physical form of a job, they're always gonna say like doctor's opinion is, well, you should never wrestle again.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
That's right. Well, Eva Marie is actually getting back into the ring for the first time on NXT. And I love this because this match that we saw tonight went down just days before she came here to AfterBuzz TV and talked to Kaori and I about the match.
Cool.
If you guys haven't seen that, please check it out. It is a Spotlight On interview on AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. Check it out. And we finally got to see her come out in the robe and the sparkles.
Love it,
and
love
really
it, love it.
do some moves in the ring. And when I watched this whole match back after it happened, I thought she did a fantastic job. But what she's really going for is that heat from the fans. And we could clearly hear them saying, Eva sucks, go Eva, or whatever it was. It's like, that's what she wanted, and that's mission accomplished, right?
Absolutely. First of all, kudos to Eva Marie, because I trained with Brian Kendrick. She trains with Brian Kendrick. He speaks so highly of her, as you guys know. You interviewed him. She's really a hard worker, and she kicked butt in that first match back. I was like, wow, look at Eva Marie now. Seriously. And then...
Go ahead, no, keep talking. It's okay, just keep talking.
So anyway, so she's really been kicking butt, and the robe that she was wearing actually was something that Brian Kendrick's wife made for her.
Really?
Which is
gosh, I
an
didn't
interesting
know
little
that.
tidbit. Yeah.
That is some insider info, Daria.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I don't think I'm not allowed to share that.
Taylor,
You're
right?
fine.
She's a tough enough
I
one
mean, I've
herself.
heard that before, so maybe it might have been Brian mentioning it.
Okay.
Maybe it might have been Eva mentioning, but I have heard that before.
She designed the
make the
robe
masks.
and they kind of came up with a whole new look for Eva. And the second that Eva walked out onto that stage, everybody was cheering, whether it was boos or cheers, and that was the goal. And now if you watch Eva on NXT, she only gets boos, which I'm saying is a compliment.
Right.
Because she is now
She's getting a
officially
reaction.
a great heel. Whereas before, Eva was just like, we don't know what to think of her. Now she's a heel. She has great athleticism in the ring. And I honestly think she's improving every single match.
I think she is improving. I think she still has a long way to go. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be, but she's still improving. I do see little things. And I like that even on NXT, they're using a lot of what she has or maybe has not into that whole storyline. If they're not trying to make her be cheered.
Right.
So why go there? Why try to force the fans to cheer her? They're going to boo her
Absolutely.
regardless. So okay, let's go there. You know, that's the magic thing about professional wrestling, that they take a lot of real life situations and enter it into a storyline.
Yeah, I saw her last match. Did you see her last match on NXT? Who did she go against?
Carmella?
Carmella. Yeah, her and Carmella. That was my favorite one to date, which just makes me believe that she's steadily improving every week. The first one I was like, okay, that's good. She's getting better. And now I look at her and I'm like, she's wrestling. She looks good. And her and Carmella had a really cool chemistry. What is it, Staten Island Princess?
Something like that.
Yeah, they had good charisma in there, and I think that's Eva's best match. And she hasn't lost since her return.
Yeah.
They're doing something with her for sure.
Yes.
For sure. And Eva loves wrestling, as all these ladies do. And I'm going to use that as my segue to this. It's relatable. We've all done something crazy for love. And I want to tell you guys about a really cool new show that I'm sure you are going to love if you love Total Divas. If you don't have a crazy ex, the chances are you might be a crazy ex. Rebecca Bunch has always been a little crazy about one special guy, her very first love. But she gets a second chance 10 years later, leaves her dream job in New York, follows her man to dreamy West Covina, California, Cali, baby, where the beach is only 2 hours away, foreign traffic. We know all about that. This is from the writer of The Devil Wears Prada, one of my fave movies,
I
and
love
the
that
director
movie.
of 500 Days of Summer.
I love that movie too.
Starring and co-created by internet sensation Rachel Bloom. We all know her. She can sing, she
know.
can dance, she can imagine a world where doing both in public is completely normal. This show is a little bit different, you guys. The Hollywood Reporter names Rachel Bloom one of TV's 10 hot stars to watch. And this is a series that USA Today says may be fall's most promising comedy. Critics agree Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is something to sing about. You can check out the trailer at CWTV.com. This incredible new series, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, series premiere Monday, October 12th at 8/7 Central on the CW.
Wow.
I know, it sounds good, right?
Now-
They're going to be singing and dancing, and it's going to be fun.
The last show you told me to watch was Quantico. I
So
watched
good,
it.
right?
It's amazing.
So good. Okay, so we tell you about the good shows, people. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend
Believe
is the
us.
next one.
Believe
dude.
us.
Yes. Okay.
Believe.
We'll get there when this is
Believe.
over. We're gonna
Yes.
talk some
We'll
Quantico.
talk. I like that. I like that.
Oh wow.
But at
Losers.
this point, this is kind of my favorite scene of the show, you guys.
Which
What
one?
is it? What is
Which
it?
one?
Valley Ho. The Bellas go to Valley Ho.
Drama, drama,
and
drama.
Dolph Ziggler is there as well. He invited the ladies there, and they go. Oh, curious. Breeze into it now at this point. Apparently, is okay with it. And the things that Dolph Ziggler says to Nikki Bella in this scene are. I don't want to say, well, you know what? Maybe they are stepping over the line a little bit. They're outrageous. And I think what Bree says later in that it's what she wants to hear might actually kind of ring true. So he kind of said, you're compromising your morals. If someone doesn't want to reproduce with you, he made this implication, like the fact that he doesn't want to have babies with you is an insult to you, Nikki. I mean, these are some painful things for any person to hear, right?
Absolutely. Everyone has their different morals and standards of what's flirting and what's over the line, and everyone has a different line.
Yeah.
That's over my line.
Yeah.
That would not be cool
Him
with
saying
me.
those things?
Absolutely. Like, he has a right to express how he feels, because if he is in love with Nikki and he does want to be with her, he has a right to let her know. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's then Nikki's job to say either, okay, you're allowed to express these feelings. I feel the same way. I'm going to break up with John. Or I'm in love with John. Please stop saying things like this. Is very inappropriate.
Pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brakes. So I don't blame Dolph for saying it but I do blame him in the setting that he said it. Mm-hmm. He said it at a pool in front of a dozen people, her mom, her brother, her sister. And he said it like he was kind of like attacking Nikki, like, you know, oh, you're sacrificing your morals. Like, whoa, you don't have to say it like that. You know, you could call Nikki aside and say, hey, I want to talk to you. And like he did at the end eventually. But yeah, I think there's a right and a wrong way to go about that. And I think there's a line to be drawn.
I mean, I think it's Dolph or Nick, apparently. Because if you notice, the mom...
As he also goes by.
Mama Bella was like, so Dolph, do you have a girlfriend? Or Mama Bella's the one asking. And obviously he's answering like, well, no, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. But I think he was just mostly just talking in general. I don't think he was so much attacking Nikki. He wasn't attacking Nikki, but you can tell he was saying it with a purpose. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, a motive.
He had a motive, which is why maybe I shouldn't say attacking, but he had a motive. He was trying to say to Nikki Bella, this guy doesn't want to have babies with you. This guy doesn't want to marry you. I can marry you. Yeah. I can have like that was obviously
he was
motive.
Talking about himself, but you can definitely see his intention with what he was saying about himself.
Right, because we learned at this point that was a major point of contention in Nikki and Dolph's relationship as well. The same way that it's a point of contention in Nikki and John's relationship.
Because even so, like, I mean, obviously John and Nikki has been together for at least 3 years. They just celebrated an anniversary as shown by her Instagram. So
he's all over it.
And I know Dolph might be like a year or two older than me, but I know from experience is that 3 years is a long time to grow as well. Mm-hmm. So for him to want maybe change his mind, because maybe that's why they broke up initially too, is maybe he didn't want to have kids either, and now
that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, right. It did sound like that he didn't want to get to that next level, so maybe that's why she broke up with him. Who knows? But he's grown. He can always change his mind too, and I think essentially that's what he was getting at, is that, hey, listen, I know for a fact that at some point you did want this. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So I think that was what he was trying to get, is like, what happened to the Nikki and obviously people can change their mind, as Dolph did. You know, maybe Nikki did too, as far as not wanting the kids in the marriage, but I don't know, who knows? And if he said that, dude, if that's what you want, then cool. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't disagree with him voicing his feelings, but was that the time and the place? Should he have told her in private?
It should have been in private.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll put a little pin in that because the conversation does get a little bit saucier. But at this point, we go back to Natty and TJ. And I was just really shocked by the conversation that happened. I think it went down like in their kitchen. It sort of sounded like they were both okay with their WWE careers being over. And I can't imagine that really from either one of them, but this is sort of the same sentiment that Natty expressed when Mark Carrano came and told her, you know, we want you to go more into an ambassador role. Like, she doesn't seem fearful, and we actually know that she's gonna have a big role in the Divas Revolution upcoming now.
Right.
But at this point in time, it sort of seemed like her career was over. He is seriously injured. His career might be over, and they weren't that concerned about it.
See, I think that Natty was trying to put on a strong face for TJ. Yeah. And I think that was cute. You know, she was trying to say, oh, my eye's fine, my eye's fine, my eye's fine. Because he had the neck injury and she didn't want him stressing out more, which was cute. And I think that TJ, he knows he's going to heal and have a return, right? I mean,
he's done it before, maybe.
He's done it before. He's fairly young. Mm-hmm. So maybe they just have hope. Maybe that's what it is. I don't really know, though. You're right, though. They didn't seem as overwhelmed.
Concerned. Yeah, well, you know, and what I always think, too, is immediately I go to, like, the financial aspect of it because we know they make great money.
Yeah.
But I suppose that they both know that in the financial aspect, there will be opportunities for them through WWE and through Total Divas and a lot of other avenues.
And that's what I wonder. I'm like, even if Natty and TJ are done wrestling, they're not done with WWE. Right. There's so much for them to do, especially Natty with the girls and the Divas Revolution. And then also I compare it to the Daniel Bryan Brie Bella situation when Daniel Bryan got hurt and how super concerned they were. Mm-hmm. And I compare the situation. So they definitely handled things differently than, you know, Daniel Bryan, so to speak. But maybe it's just a sense of security. they're okay financially. They're okay taking those next steps and following into those leadership roles or whatever they would fall into.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I suppose she's seen her family too, her father and other family members kind of make that transition from being in the ring to whatever else they decide to do, and they've done that successfully. And I mean, her dad has had some issues, but for the most part, you know, she has seen people who have done that, and it's okay for them. So maybe that's part of it as well. But a really, really interesting scene comes about at this point where John and Nikki are posing with a bachelorette party who's come upon them that are big fans, and John says something to Nikki that was like sort of a bombshell to me, and it was sort of played offhandedly, but like he says to her, if they only knew how tumultuous we were. And that's a big word to use. Like, tumultuous means we are in a constant state of disrepair. Like, there's always an issue and we never know what's going to go on. Like, tumultuous is one of my favorite words because it's a big, fun, fancy word. But it has a pretty negative, heavy connotation. And the fact that he said that to her, I was like, either he doesn't really know what tumultuous means, which could be, or this maybe just the show. I mean,
or he knew that Nikki didn't know what it meant.
She wouldn't know what it means, and that she wouldn't take it that seriously. I mean, that's kind of a big statement to make, right?
Yeah.
And they go into this whole conversation.
When he said that, I was like, I looked at you, and we talked about the meaning
like,
of the word.
Wait, did he just say that?
and then we're like, oh, what is he trying to say right now? And you kind of wonder what goes on behind the scenes. What don't we see on Total Divas unveiled? I don't know what's going on with them. I think that they're a couple that doesn't get to see each other face to face very often.
Right.
So a lot of their problems are put on hold, so to speak. Yeah. I don't think it's a common issue. Like, they talk about the babies, and I think Nikki kind of lets it just slide under the rug, you know? She only sees
it's never
him
resolved.
Right. She only sees him maybe once a week or less than that. She's not going to bring up that when she sees him, right? You would think. So I guess you would just think that they have some unresolved issues.
That's true. That's kind of even what he said was like, I have a few hours to be with you right now in this moment.
Yeah.
And
I want to appreciate this before I go off.
And he's a very, John Cena seems like a very calm guy. Like, he's always composed. He never loses his cool, which, you know, if you're a person that doesn't want to have a child and the conversation keeps coming up, that's a lot of, like, pressure. He said it gives him the sweats. Like, I could see that giving someone some anxiety. So he handled it pretty well and just said, listen, we only have a couple hours together. Why don't we just spend it loving each other? And he grabbed her hand and said, I love you. I want to be with you.
Yeah.
That's it. So I don't know. For someone like Nikki Bella that wants children, that was kind of her answer, that she's probably not going to get them from John Cena.
I mean, it's just weird too. I know, again, I'm not married, I'm not anything, but like, they're still like in their 30s. So it's like when you're in your 40s, like when you're maybe, especially Nikki, I doubt that she's going to be wrestling into her 40s, obviously.
Right.
Let's be real.
She's not Tamina Snuka.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
It's like, what else is she going to do? You know, you already have Brie Bella already, like, and they even mentioned it. It's like, you know, your sister's going to get pregnant at some time, anytime soon. And it's like, and then what? You know, I feel like you keep Googling sonograms. And I thought that was a funny thing that John said.
That was really funny, yeah.
And just kind of dropping hints. But it's like, you know, at some point, I think Nikki, as much as she's in the now, she does really have to start thinking about her future when she's 40, and John maybe is still being that ambassador role, and Nikki's at home maybe running her bar apparently. You know,
ballet bar is a workout thing. It's not a bar.
It's not.
That's what I meant. Like, I knew you know that, but whatever she's trying to do, or whatever Vince's trying to do, it's like maybe she's gonna regret not, you know, pushing for the, you know, the child aspect, you know. So who knows?
And I do have an update on what she might do. More on that news and gossip. But you're totally right about that. I kind of maintain that John's going to come around on the marriage and possibly the kids in several years. But the waiting around is kind of an issue too.
She's 34, right?
No, she's 32.
31.
She's 31, 32.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they're young and they have a lot of time, and I don't know. They have time.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. I keep saying she should just lay off the convo about it and let him like breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it'll be fine.
Well, I agree that the worst thing to do is to keep bringing it up, because the more you pressure somebody, the more you make it known that that's what you want. It almost makes them like pull away. Like, why are you pressuring me so much? Leave me alone.
Right.
So I think the more that she just lets it settle and let him come to you and say, I want a baby. It might happen. You never know. So we'll see.
Yes.
The future.
We shall, because this was to be continued, ... which a season finale should be. But we did get a little update before the end on Paige and Kevin, and this drove me nuts. Again, we see Paige. She told Big Show earlier in the episode she doesn't want to marry him. She's standing there with Kevin, like she makes it awkward with Big Show.
She's talking to Rosa Mendez about that.
Yeah, this poor guy who has to see this all play out now. I mean, her immaturity is sort of getting to the point where it's almost too much. I mean, I can't really feel like I can't deal with Paige anymore. I don't know how Kevin is supposed to.
It's like a game in some point, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm all for playing games, but like that's a pretty horrible game to play as well. Like this is a pretty big deal to think that someone is you're engaged to, and now it's like, oh, by the way, I'm telling everybody that I'm not. You know?
We all make mistakes, and we all say things on the spur of the moment. So if that was a mistake that you made and you said yes, spur of the moment, and you realized soon after that you wanted to retract that statement, you better keep it the biggest secret you can until you can get him in that chair next to you and say, I take it back. I don't want to be engaged. Rather than go spread it to the entire company so now everybody knows he proposed and then everyone knows you said no. Because I guess I would think to anybody that would be embarrassing. You don't want them to know.
Humiliating.
Yeah. You would think. So I would just stop telling your friends.
Also, yes, to continue to talk to everyone but him about it, I think is a big relationship indicator. And it's also kind of not surprising from the other things that we've seen with her testing him and... I mean, we know that she's been through the ringer, and the last guy wasn't so great, but you got a good guy now. Get your stuff together. Treat him well. Maybe you're not ready for marriage yet, but you will be someday. Because you are girlier than you want us all to think, and I bet next year you're going to want to get married, so you better hang on to Kevin, girl.
Although it does look like she has a type in some ways. And
do you think?
Yeah.
We only spent the first 5 episodes going, is that the same guy from last season or not?
George, do you think that you're her type? Is that why you're grabbing your facial hair?
I'm becoming her type.
Oh.
You didn't catch that, right?
No.
Oh. Me just, flickering with my beard that I'm trying to grow.
Hey. Darling, I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure you could not handle Paige.
Oh!
At least I want to try. All I need is those 10 minutes, to be honest with you.
Well, now we know how long it takes.
Amen.
Okay, fine. Let's be real here.
You guys, I have loved breaking down this series with you. Is there anything that you want to add about this episode before we move on?
To, later in the episode?
No, to the good stuff.
Of the episode?
No.
The news and gossip.
Oh, no, I think we're not even close to being done with the episode.
All right, well, what do you have to say? What else do you have to say?
I mean,
that covers
you forgot
it.
the part where,
we're done.
You forgot the part where Nikki, or Dolph takes Nikki aside.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Did you guys think that this was real?
Well, apparently
that's what our whole thing is. So we're like, is this storyline going to be real? He was kind of giving me a little bit of real.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Whenever they use the real names, I think that's a little bit more real, as we've seen in the past with Wade Barrett.
That's all it takes for George.
I'm sure they told them that too.
With Wade Barrett or Alicia Fox, obviously all these people, that's not their real names. So whenever they do use their real names, I think it's a little bit more real as opposed to some of the other stuff. So when the fact that they kept referring to him as Nick, because that is his real name, and even when they use Nicole. I feel like Nikki and Nicole might be two different people. Nikki Bella is what you see, even though her real name is Stephanie Nicole Garcia.
That's right.
Palacio.
Yeah.
I just feel like maybe they always gone to Nicole. They use Nicole a lot, but I don't know. I feel like it was maybe more real in some ways.
It was more real than I thought it was
Because if
going
you
to
think
be.
about it, 5 years, you could really develop a really good relationship with somebody, even if you guys break up. I really doubt that. And I never went out with somebody for that long, but I really doubt that just everything would just disappear as far as feelings go. Yes, you may get along well, but I think you may get along a lot better because you guys know each other. You guys can communicate with each other. You guys, have that bond that will never, ever go away.
I want to ask you what your longest relationship was right now, just because you threw that out there. I feel like
a
people
year
watching are
and
like,
3 months.
Ask him.
A year and 3 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty long. You can respect that.
Yeah.
All right. It's no Dolph and Nikki.
No, it's no Dolph and Nikki for sure. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it was pretty real, and this is what I think. Even if it wasn't real, let's say it was staged. It's one of those things where there's some real in there that, you
can tell.
Even if he didn't really love her, putting him in that scenario to confess his love to her might actually bring back some memory.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like when
Spoken like a true reality TV star, girl.
yeah, but that's how it works. Like you're like, oh, I don't really hate this person, but then you call him a bitch on TV, and then next thing you know, there's real animosity there because they
Right.
can't forget it, and the camera shut off, and then there you go, you hate the person.
Yeah. I mean, even if you say, all right, Dolph, Nikki, you guys are going to be complete fabricated storyline. Dolph still has feelings for Nikki. And it's like, it kind of makes, I'm sure they at least thought about it for a second, you know, even if it's completely fabricated.
Exactly.
They did seem to have some legit chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I have to admit.
I mean, obviously, like,
yeah.
he said it himself, like, Dolph's mom likes Nikki likes Dolph's mom, you know,
Aunt
like,
Christy.
when your parents like, you know, the
Said
girl.
she was so pretty.
Yeah, so going back to, I guess since we're wrapping up with the actual show, I don't know, I've always thought about the actual parallels and such completely different things in Dolph Ziggler and John Cena's personal life. And I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, okay, so Dolph dated Nikki.
Right.
Now, obviously, John dated Nikki. And going back to, I think we mentioned it earlier, Trainwrecked. So John Cena has a very pivotal role in that movie. He's, you know, in the beginning, he's Amy Schumer's boyfriend, or kind of, I guess, not boyfriend, but just
Go ahead. I know where you're going with this.
You know?
Okay.
And Amy Schumer wrote that part, like, or she wrote the movie. So
Amy Schumer, Dolph Ziggler's real life ex-girlfriend.
Thinking about John Cena's
Yes.
character in that movie, I'm thinking, was she writing that movie with Dolph Ziggler in mind?
Obviously.
And then even if you watch the movie, there's a certain sex scene, obviously, that got referenced to in a previous episode of Total Divas, where John has a sex scene and Nikki was a little uncomfortable with it.
That's right.
And in the actual movie, he's like, you don't see anything, obviously, but he's completely naked.
You see his butt,
You see
yeah.
butt. I mean, so obviously maybe he had something in front of his, you know.
Is the movie storyline that he's being too physical in the sexual relationship
No.
with Amy Schumer? Because that
No,
was
no,
her
no.
complaint about Dolph Ziggler.
I thought
was
she
that the
said,
sexual
she said he was
physical?
too acrobatic.
Right.
No, but he.
Yes, it was. It was that he was too
I think he was
sensual.
too-
Yeah, so that was
too
totally
into
based.
himself.
So you're telling me that John Cena plays Dolph Ziggler and Amy
But it's
Schumer
That's
just,
what I'm
plays
talking
Trainwreck?
about.
just,
Okay.
no,
Yes.
but it's because it's just funny to me how, like, okay, so Amy's writing this movie, and obviously if you know anything about writing movies, it's like, I mean, that movie getting converted, or I'm sorry, that script getting turned into a movie is a long shot. So
Right.
I'm sure that while she had him in mind, who's to say that a wrestler would have played that part? And not only did a wrestler play that part, it was
John
that
Cena.
specific wrestler
Right.
playing that part of Dolph Ziggler. Now, you know, backtrack to, again, Dolph and dating Nikki, John Cena dating Nikki, even backtrack even more to even an on-air storyline,
Right.
where there was one part 3 years ago where AJ Lee had this obsession with John Cena, storyline-wise, obviously, and then literally John Cena.
gonna talk about her in just a second as well.
John Cena and Dolph Ziggler had a match, and AJ Lee turned on John Cena to join Dolph Ziggler. So
Okay,
it
so
just-
Okay, all right.
All right,
So
I gotta cut you
the
off.
Eskimo Bros going way
Yeah,
back.
I just think it's
is
so
what
funny
you're
how they
telling me.
how they keep intermixing, like even like years later or years before. It's like John Cena and Ziggler are always going to have this huge, and even going back to timeline. But I want to know what you were going to say real quick.
I was going to summarize everything you just said.
Well, because you know, in real life, John Cena is not threatened by Dolph Ziggler.
No,
I
in any
know.
way, shape,
so
or form.
basically, Dolph Ziggler and John Cena have been trading women for centuries and centuries and
Apparently.
centuries, whether it be on camera or off
Whether it be on
camera.
reality TV, on Raw, in
Yes.
real life.
On
That's
Trainwreck.
what they do.
But my
That's
thing
what
is,
they do.
I just can't believe, like, it's like they keep crossing paths, even maybe intentionally or unintentionally. And I was trying to think of a timeline through this whole thing, and obviously Paige alluded to, and not to say that two of the same storyline on the same show has to be on the same date, but obviously we heard Paige say that she's got to go to Japan, and if you remember,
Right,
there was
Beast in
that
the
Beast
East
from the
in
East July
July.
4th, and we saw Dolph Ziggler earlier in that when he was talking to Nikki with like a cut.
Yes.
Stitches, yeah.
But I went back and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, he had a match with Sheamus where he bled really bad, but that was back in May. So I'm kind of think like,
Like the timing doesn't add up.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, not that it doesn't add up, but I was hoping. This was my hope. I hope that whole storyline was right before they went to Japan, and I want to say that the whole John Cena and Dolph Ziggler teaming up at Beast in the East, which is a huge a huge joke that like they played on them.
To
like,
do on this
no,
whole,
you know,
like,
this whole Total Divas. let's
Pretend you're still in love on Total Divas and get in the ring together.
Let's
No.
be a tag team.
I bet you behind the scenes, Dolph Ziggler and John Cena are going,
High five,
High
baby.
five, man, because we just made so much money.
Yeah.
We're selling Total
Amen
Divas
to that.
storyline. We're selling Trainwreck movies. We're doing this together, man.
But I don't know.
And they're splitting the profits.
I think it's so funny how they like their lives, just obviously personal lives, professional life. Their characters can be more opposite, obviously.
right.
But personal life, it's like, oh my god, like they're so connected, even if they didn't want to be.
That's right. Well, this ended the way that any season finale should.
Dun, dun,
with
dun.
a to be continued ... We will be here breaking it down next season. I can't wait. And so that we don't dwell on the fact that it's over, let's just move on to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
This one I'm really excited about, you guys, and this is kind of a fun little tidbit. This isn't the speculation that I usually do. We know that the WWE has teamed with a cosmetics brand, and the Total Divas are getting their own makeup line.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. That's right. I've been waiting for this because their makeup is obviously always on point. But it will be called the Total Intensity brand. And there's going to be different collections with kind of a theme. So there'll be like the go to the mat, stand out in the ring the bell are going to be some of the collections.
Interesting.
I know, right? I kind of can't wait. You'll see it hit stores early 2016. It's going to be everywhere. Ulta, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, everywhere that I buy my store brand makeup. Because, we're working on a budget here.
Absolutely.
It will be available. So I'm really excited about
That's pretty
that.
cool.
Will there be like a line for each diva? Like Paige will have her black and...
No, but
Like
I'm
Eva
sure
Marie
they will all be
Eva Marie
promoting
hair.
it. Maybe it'll get to that point.
Maybe.
Butt
Yeah.
cheeks.
Naomi butt cheek.
Yeah, padded butt cheeks. Obviously going back to what I was saying earlier, I actually heard a rumor where they're actually going to mix this Total Divas with not real, obviously, but they're going to have John Cena and Dolph Ziggler possibly feuding for the U.S. belt.
And do like a whole intertwined Total Divas
Storyline,
and
WWE.
Well, that's fine by me, honey.
That would be cool.
Well, another example
Yes.
of real life and Total Divas clashing. Paige did not bother to tell her parents about this engagement that we see on Total Divas. They live in the UK, so they didn't see it on TV either. They had to find out through social media after the Total Divas episode aired. And Paige's mom was not happy. Paige just said, "You know what, Mom? I wasn't ready to tell you guys. I was ready to tell the world, and they wanted to tell you, but I wasn't ready to tell you."
Ooh.
So yes, Soraya, which is Paige's mother's name and her real name, was a little bit hot under the collar about said engagement that she didn't know about.
Wow.
I know. A couple little Nikki things too.
Tell
Nikki
us.
says, I teased this a little earlier. Nikki says that she and Brie will have a lingerie line that will be hitting soon. Not a whole lot more details about that, but it sounds like it is in the works.
That is not conservative.
I don't know if that's my size.
That is not conservative, Daniel Bryan approved.
That was my first thought.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
it kind of remains to be seen how risque this will be. And of course, they always have to have everything approved by WWE as well.
I'm sure.
So that is interesting. More on that next season, people.
I don't know what James's news is.
All right. Well, we can get there because you know what? One other thing that I just want to say, Nikki gave this fantastic interview where she addressed everything from the rumors that John got her belt to where all this negative stuff about her and Brie and why they're there, where it all came from. She blames AJ Lee actually and gives a good explanation about Vince McMahon and Total Divas. And you guys can get all the details on channelguidemagblog.com.
Where did she say about AJ Lee?
She said that the first year of Total Divas, they didn't really let the Divas talk on Raw and SmackDown because Vince was concerned that the belt would change hands on a Sunday or a Monday, and then on Tuesday, Total Divas wouldn't be relevant. So they didn't really let the Total Divas...
Well, back then, the Total Divas was on Sundays, though.
This is what she was saying.
Okay.
So when AJ Lee was the only one to have a voice, and she was saying, the Bella Twins are only here, because of this and that. Anyway... She blames that promo for all of these rumors.
That promo was
the talk.
amazing, by the way, back in the day.
Okay, we don't have time for that because I'm going to argue with him about that.
Well, let's go
So
ahead.
just one more little thing.
The people want to
It's
know.
Let her talk.
11:05.
Let her talk.
It's 11:05.
Let her
Cut
talk.
us off.
No, they're not.
One more thing. You wanted your confirmation. This is for you, George. You wanted your
wanna know
confirmation
what
that
James's
Amanda
news
is joining Total Divas. Their makeup artist, Honeybee Eileen, did post a picture and said, "Here's a photo of Amanda, the newest Total Diva. There's your confirmation." Do you have anything?
Well, no. I mean, I know we all speculated, and it was an honest, great, positive speculation, and we just never really got. We were at 99%. Now it's at 100%.
Now we're 99.9.
Now we're at 100. I want to know what James news is.
And on that note, I want to throw it to our engineer James, who has something to say.
My news is that Jim Neidhart started a Pro Wrestling Tees store yesterday.
Oh,
and
that's Natty
today was told that he does not own the rights to his name nor the Hart Foundation, and WWE shut his Pro Wrestling Tees store down.
Ooh, that is juicy and ties directly in with what we were saying about Natty and TJ being able to make money off WWE when they leave and when they're done wrestling. That's crazy. Thank you for that, James. How did I not know that?
I know. That is insane.
Wow, and just kind of goes to show how much continued control and that WWE has over these folks and the effect that they have over their continued lives and their careers.
It just kind of sucks as Jim Neidhart's main argument was, okay, cool, if you have me under a merchandise deal, then sell my freaking merchandise.
Right.
I'm trying to make money
Right.
from this store, and now you're not allowing me. Well, you're not selling my merchandise either. Mm-hmm. And I saw the shirts that Jim Neidhart had on the store. They actually look pretty cool.
They're cute, yeah.
Yeah, they look really, really cool.
That's why when you go to sign with the WWE, you have to read those contracts because you never know.
Read that fine print, D.
30 years later where you'll be. That's so crazy.
Well, I suspect someone in this room will be a part of the WWE very, very soon.
Georgie!
What about
All right. Two of you.
I want to hear your predictions, though.
Predictions for next season? All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
And now...
I love that. I love that. I thought we didn't time, but we're just going to do it. I predict that Amanda is going to come up in here.
No!
And almost everyone's going to hate her. It's going to be almost identical to Eva Marie's storyline where she's too hot. They don't care. They think she can't wrestle. They hate her because she's kind of a jerk. Like, this is going to be the second coming of Eva Marie, and the only friend Amanda's going to have is Eva Marie, which isn't surprising because she's cool. And what do you know Amanda personally, Daria? What do you think about next season?
My prediction is based on completely the same stuff you've seen. I will keep me and Amanda's private conversations there. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think that Amanda is going to team up with Eva Marie. They're going to be the outcast. They're going to be the pretty girls that no one thinks can do. And I think they're going to prove the other divas wrong, because I personally know Amanda is a stud athlete. I know that Eva Marie is a stud athlete, and I think they're both going to kick butt. But yes, I think there's going to be high tensions in the locker rooms, because I know Paige has been wrestling for a while, and she likes to say that, and I know that the other girls have been here for a while, so Amanda's the new chick on the block, and she's probably going to get some heat.
What do you think, George?
I think that it's pretty much confirmed that Trinity, Naomi, is not going to be on next season's
I know.
Total
That
Divas.
upsets me.
Obviously
So we're not going to have a voice of reason, and that's going to be a problem.
Maybe it might be Natty getting replaced by obviously Amanda. Obviously, we're going to see, and this is what I hate most about these pauses or season finales, is because obviously these whole storyline of Dolph and Nikki, it's like that conversation had to end, but yet we have to wait 4 months or 5 months to the next episode. It's like, so we have to wait 4 months for a 10-second long conversation, and it's like by that point everything else is get fast forward in time too, But
we're just so used to Raw and SmackDown that don't have any seasons.
Exactly.
And we just want, if Total Divas wants to be a year-round show, whatever I have to do that make that happen, I'm there.
I'm there.
Yes.
Let's
Amen.
do it.
Amen.
But I do think that next season is going to be the last season of the Bella twins on Total Divas. They're going to kind of wrap up all their storylines, and then thus turning into the spin-off of, was it Being Bella?
Being Bella, that's what we're calling
obviously,
it.
it's going to be Daniel Bryan, Nikki, Brie, John Laurinaitis, Mama Bella, John Cena, JJ. I like his hair, by the way. The wife, maybe like a distant cousin. They're going to bring in the dad.
Those cousins that saw naked on the text.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, true.
Yes.
And then like the dad with the kid and whatnot. Like, and by the way, everyone's not related on the. Maybe everyone's related by like marriage.
Right.
But like, but that whole thing, and then thus creating new spots for Total Divas. And I really do think that out of all this whole Divas Revolution, which, by the way, I hate that they call it that because I feel like they're not allowed to call it the Divas Revolutions themselves. It should be the fans calling it a revolution, not themselves. And I think like Sasha Banks would probably be a perfect fit for that show as well, Total Divas.
Okay,
so I do see at some point we see the introduction of Sasha Banks slowly but surely onto that show.
And you know I want to see Lana too.
Oh, Lana as well, because obviously she tweeted, she's like, "Oh, I'm taking accent classes." So I think when she comes back from her wrist injury, she's going to be talking like a total white girl.
Acting? Are you
like
saying?
a total diva?
Oh, accent?
Yeah.
Like a total diva.
Yeah, so she's going to come back with her... Oh my God, I was a background player on Pitch Perfect 2.
Regardless of who we see, who's there, when the Bellas get their spinoff, I will be here breaking it down with all of you. I hope that you guys will be back too.
What if you replace Renee Young?
Oh my God, that is the only case under which I will not be here breaking down Total Divas. But we will keep up with you guys. I'm on the SmackDown after show. Me and George are on the pay-per-views after show.
We're going to do the show this Sunday.
So we can keep talking about all this good stuff.
Because they love to talk.
Keep up with you in the meantime, George?
Me first. Let's go Daria first.
Okay, you guys can find me at Tough Daria on all of your social media. You can also email me, that's right, email me at toughdaria@gmail.com to order your Jersey Devil t-shirts.
Where will you be this Saturday?
This Saturday, October 3rd, I'll be in Monroe, New Jersey at the Crown Plaza Hotel doing a meet and greet with some of the other Tough Enough competitors.
And where can they buy your shirt?
I just told them that.
Again. At the meet and greet.
At the meet and greet. You can also buy my shirt.
And you can take a picture.
Okay, George.
And you can find me on all social media except for LinkedIn. Actually, I just got a LinkedIn, by the way.
Which, by the way, you told us last week.
Which, by the way, really?
I think on the pay-per-view show. I don't know.
Oh,
well, you got me thinking about LinkedIn.
I don't know how to use it, but I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It should be the Twitter handle right there. GHERMOZA, G Hermoza, hashtag. Dude, this road to 400 followers is taking a long time. A lot longer than the road to 200 or 300 followers. So hopefully I get to that hashtag road to 400 followers because I need that little email. Congratulatory 400 follower email.
We'll shout you out when that happens, George. And you know, I'm going to keep up with all the divas whenever they come to LA. I will talk to them and interview them and keep up on all the juicy stuff in my Googling. So everybody keep up with me at Christy Reports, and please check out also ChristyReports.com. I can't tell you guys out there, and even you guys here, how much it's meant to me to be here every week and break down the show. I watch all the crazy reality shows. You know, you watch me on all the reality after shows. This is my absolute favorite freaking one. Nothing in the world means more to me than sitting down for my hour Tuesday nights watching Total Divas. I'm sad it's over, but it's been an awesome season with you guys.
Can we just be here?
I just got to wrap it because I'm my mind and I don't want to get ugly cry face. So I really want to thank all of you out there for joining us this season. We will be back next season whenever it starts. I don't think it'll be long. But thank you for being with us. Please continue to keep up with us. Give us that thumbs up. 5 stars on iTunes and SoundCloud. And please follow 10 stars. 20. No, now we're getting 30 stars. We've loved you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Keep up with all of the whole team at AfterBuzz TV. And we'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.
Buzz you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.